This is season 7, episode 7 of our favorite show to watch and recap and analyze immediately after the East Coast broadcast. It's Scandal. Welcome to the Scandalous Scandal recap, the winter finale recap for season 7, the final season of Scandal. I'm your host, Larry Brown Jr., joined by my fantastic friend, the Janiyah Wright. I am on 10 right now. Janiyah, how are you?
LBJ, let me just say, I am on 11, okay? Because that episode was so good. It was everything that we dreamed, LBJ. It was our predictions coming true and not coming true. It was the appearance of characters we've been waiting to see. And LBJ, it was the answer to the unsolved mystery. LBJ, this episode was everything.
This episode was epically everything, and we believe that you believe this episode was epically everything. Thank you all so much for watching us. To all of you who are watching us right now, that's 14 past the top of the hour on the East Coast. Thank you for watching live. And if you're watching us and it's not 14 past the top of the hour right now, it's quite all right because you are watching us in the YouTube archive of this video, and we love you for watching. D Hill, shout out to you for being the first in the chat room tonight. I left. Hello, we see you. Mrs. Creole Davis, Inkwell, Coffee Light and Sweet, Shar 90303. We've also got in the room Janiyah Grace. We have Akosua O. We have Miss L. Also joining us tonight is Talis Ferry. The Jackie O 2006 is with us, as well as Rakira. We've got me. We've got you. We have everyone else who's hanging out and talking and chatting. Normina's Harmony, Kimmy, Oli Semika. We also, somebody who's from the West Coast too. I wanted to shout you out. Oh, MG, where are you? Listen, people trying to tell me to chill. I'm on fire. Candace was like, you're on 80 right now. I was like, I feel alive. I feel alive. Woo, so good.
We call this the Shondaland high. That's all you can call it, LBJ.
In fact, I am on a Shondaland high, so much so that I went to the concession stand in Shondaland and I got something sizzling to drink and I got something flat to drink, okay? And I am sitting here enjoying every moment of this Scandalous Scandal recap. Listen, if you're watching this live, tell a friend right now, send them the YouTube link, say, hey, did you watch Scandal tonight? Come and watch these people talk about Scandal. Why? Because it's the winter finale and we won't come back again until 2018. Guess what? It's going to be 1/18 of 18. How awesome is that? Did you guys pick that up? We're going to be live January 18, 1/18 of 2018. Shout out to all those numbers. I'm that kind of nerd. Anyhow, let's jump into this episode. So many things that we've been talking about this entire season has come to a head, and some things are just now beginning. Janiyah, we began tonight's episode with Quinn and the elevator. We see Quinn. Last week when we left off, we found out that Quinn is missing, and the question that we were to ask was, where is she? And while we were asked, where is she? We asked you all last week in the chat, where do you think Quinn is? And many people had so many different theories. I threw out that maybe Papa Pope, Mama Pope had something to do with it. Janiyah was Jake leaning. Many of you had your own theories, but tonight we learned when we saw Quinn riding up in the elevator to go to her office at QPA, formerly OPA. She gets on the old freight elevator and rides up, and what happens? The elevator stops. We see someone stop the elevator's electricity. Then the electricity, we see the top of the elevator cover come off. And then once the top comes off, there's a blackout, and Quinn is taken into authority. She is not into authority. She's taken away. She is kidnapped. Quinn goes away, and we don't see Quinn anymore. And we learn in the episode that Papa Pope is the one who has taken Quinn. Janiyah, what did you think about learning that Papa Pope was the one who took Quinn?
Well, LBJ, I was not surprised at all. You know, over the course of the last couple of weeks, we have been having these conversations about this power shift between Olivia and Rowan. And I'll tell you this, LBJ, I have always been skeptical. I have said on this chat, LBJ, that I don't believe that Eli Rowan Pope could ever actually be powerless. If for no other reason, we know that he has programmed hundreds, if not thousands of men and women out there to see him as the one, the only, the command. And so I knew, LBJ, that he had something to do with this. I am not surprised at all. I was surprised to learn that he was not in cahoots, as far as we know, with some of the other characters. As far as we know right now, he's not in cahoots with Jake. He's not in cahoots with Huck. He's not in cahoots with Charlie. Any of the known goons, LBJ, he's not in cahoots with. But I wasn't surprised at all, LBJ. I will tell you, though, we didn't see Quinn this entire episode other than her snatch in the elevator. And
you're right. And Normina's Harmony actually talks about that because she says they did all this extraness so Katie could go home and be with her baby. LOL. Because Katie Lowe's, who actually plays Quinn, is a mother of an infant boy. So congratulations to Katie.
Yay! Congratulations, Katie. And you know what, LBJ? And this is quite a storyline to mix up just so somebody can go on some parental leave. But anyway.
Or she's standing behind, at least she wasn't standing behind a trash bag or wearing big coats and sashaying through like, what? You can't see my stomach? You can just see my face. It's okay. I'm talking to you.
But LBJ, it was so interesting to watch these characters miss her, LBJ. We have to talk about this. So Quinn has been missing for quite a while. And those who watched last week's episode, we know that Quinn was snatched on the very day of her wedding. Okay, of all days, she gets snatched on the day of her wedding, but also the day after she has revealed to Olivia that she did not approve of Olivia's decision to kill President Rashad, right? So, and she's so fed up, she's disappointed in Olivia, then bam, she's gone. So we didn't know, we knew she got, but we didn't know who got her. And LBJ, let's talk about the characters that missed her tonight. And I can't wait to get into the chat and see what people were thinking about who? Charlie. LBJ, Charlie was spinning out. Okay. And it was so crazy. We saw a scene early in the episode where Huck's guy was out, Charlie's guy was out. Okay. Then later on, Olivia's guy came out. All the guys were out, LBJ, because people were about to murder to find the people who took Quinn. Huck is crafting new devices, turning an innocent fidget spinner into a murderous device that can chop a person perpetually. And we see Charlie, he's talking about taking, whoever kidnapped Quinn out to a rusty minefield or something. LBJ, the guys were out. But whose guy wouldn't be out when you're spending your days trolling morgues, LBJ? What was your reaction to Charlie and his heartbreak?
So I was convinced that Charlie had nothing to do with Quinn's kidnapping. I posted to my Twitter a poll to ask, who do you think took Quinn? Did you think it was Charlie? Did you think it was Jake, Rowan, or someone else? And it was split half and half between, a couple people said Jake. 0% of the folks on my Twitter, at Larry Brown, if you guys want to check it, said that no, they did not think it was Charlie, but it was split between Rowan and someone else. And it was very interesting to see that. And that was long before we saw Charlie going into the morgue that I posted that poll to my Twitter. When I saw him go there, it was very interesting because before he went there, remember, he told Olivia that there's a missing pregnant woman that's been found and someone needs to go identify her. He's going to go identify her. Olivia tries to console him and reminds him that it's not Quinn. Take heart in knowing that she is still alive. And he's like, I don't know. Olivia still doesn't know what's going on because remember, this is her first time being in command and she's hitting the ground running. She's wearing the dark colors. The white hat's out the window. The white hat has gone to the Salvation Army and there's somebody walking down the street wearing that white hat. They don't even know the victory and the glory and the weight of the anointing of that white hat that she wore.
LBJ, that hat probably didn't make it to the shelf of the Salvation Army because they don't take everything. LBJ.
Yeah, they don't. If it's tarnished or damaged, you can keep it. They won't take it.
That's right. And LBJ, that hat had been stomped on, thrown, hither and thither. LBJ, that hat had been through. We know that.
It did. And so when I saw Charlie go to the morgue, I knew in my heart of hearts, in my gut, that my potential prediction of Charlie knowing about Quinn's abduction, Quinn Robin Lindsay's abduction, I knew that I had to throw it out the window right then and there, because he was too emotional to have to deal with this. His guy wasn't out. His guy was tucked away, and we saw the man. We saw his humanity. We saw his heart. We saw him emote for the simple fact that he was still going to find his love who he planned to spend the rest of his life with, his love who was carrying his offspring. He wanted to see that. And so immediately I crossed his name off the list to know that he was no longer a suspect in her abduction. But what was interesting in that scene is that he was I loved how he was really, really looking for her. And he did not care what QPA, OPA, and any other PAs were doing. He was literally out there trying to figure out, where is my girl? We were supposed to be married. We had the macarons, we had the magical paper, we had the conference room, we had it all set up. Where is my girl? Oh, where has my Quinn Robin Lindsay gone? Oh, where could she be? And he could not find her anywhere. It's so heartbreaking. I mean, just imagine what he was going through in that time and in that space. And he really, really, really showed us that he's no longer to be watched. So we can take Quinn off of this list. But I'll say, as we go towards the end of the episode in this conversation, he's going to rise again in a different form because of what potentially, because of the potential stories that are going to start rising about Quinn's whereabouts.
You got that right, LBJ. I mean, the wrath is still, going to play out. Okay. I mean, once the truth is revealed, and frankly, it's possible that Olivia may face some of that wrath, right? Because Olivia has been keeping this secret. Olivia and Jake have been keeping this secret from the rest of the gladiators. They've known now for maybe a day or two, what was going on with Quinn. They knew who had her. And they weren't revealing it, LBJ. So it's possible that this wrath may be, pretty well distributed. We'll just have to wait and see.
But you're talking about wrath, Janiyah. It's so funny that you bring that up, because just in the midst of all of that, in the midst of immediately after we learned that Charlie saw that the dead body with the pregnant dead woman was not Quinn, what do we cut to? We cut to a scene, a showdown of showdowns in a restaurant over an Oscared fillet of some piece of fish that pairs well with a bottle of wine that could have been sitting on the table. It wasn't Dubouillet. But ladies and gentlemen, if you saw this scene, you would have requested a bottle of Dubouillet, not a glass, not a sampling,
yes,
a bottle of Dubouillet. Based on what we learned here in this scene is where we learn that Papa Pope was responsible for Quinn's abduction. Janiyah, when you saw Olivia walk into that restaurant, did you think you were going to learn what we learned in that moment?
LBJ, well, first of all, when she was walking up to Papa Pope, he was there in his very cocky stance, right? We knew he was there with his very cocky energy. And immediately, LBJ, you knew something was up. You knew he had made a power play. As soon as Olivia walked in and we saw him sitting there confidently, having, summoned her, that word was thrown around, having summoned her to dinner, LBJ, which was his way when he was command. LBJ, I knew immediately he has Quinn. He has Quinn, just as we thought. He has Quinn. And LBJ, we watched and we call it a power struggle, LBJ, but it's so much deeper than that. I mean, this is about, Olivia being not only in a power struggle for this position in life that she was, groomed to hold, but LBJ, this is about bitterness. This is about a child that has been betrayed by her parent over and over and over again. This is about a person who has had their loyalties just pulled, hither and thither, LBJ. And we're watching Olivia as a broken person trying to figure out where she should put her trust, where she should send her energy. And that is what makes it all so juicy, LBJ. And what makes these characters so amazing, and the reason that we love Shonda and in Shonda we trust, is that there is so much complexity to all of them. initially we were looking at Eli Rowan Pope as many seasons ago. We looked at him as kind of like a one-note evil man, but it didn't take long for us to start to peel back the onion and see how complex he is, how complex that character is. And now, LBJ, because of the wonderful portrayals, every single moment, you're feeling all of the complexity of these characters. And so, LBJ, my answer to your question is I knew that Jay was up. Okay. As soon as Olivia walked herself in there and Eli was looking so smug and confident, I knew he had Quinn. I just didn't know how it was going to come out. LBJ, I just didn't know how it was going to. But I know when you saw him sitting there with that wine, I know that made your day. You didn't even need the rest of the episode. That's all you needed, LBJ.
Listen, you already know. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, they're about to deliver," because we need some deliverance and scandal. And Rowan said, "I am delivered. I will deliver, and this is going to be amazing." Okay. Oh, that showdown was so good because it wasn't just a monologue. It turned into a dialogue where Olivia began to interject. Normally, Rowan just monologues straight through, and he gives it to you. But Olivia began to interject, like, nah, slow this train down. I'm the conductor. You, sir, are in the caboose at this point. You have nothing to say. Get back to the caboose, and you do what I tell you to do. And it was so good, Janiyah. It was so good.
And LBJ and Mrs. Creole Davis is asking in the chat the question we're all asking. She says, I'm singing them bones, them dry bones. What's up with Papa Pope and those bones? Do they remind us of his first love? LBJ, this is what he's bartering for, right? So for those who are watching, our chat before the episode, you're probably wondering, what did Eli Rowan Pope want in exchange, for Quinn? He took Quinn. What's he up to? Well, he asked for two things, not one, but two. Number one, he asked for his freedom, which is the predictable thing. Right now he's under Olivia's thumb. She's really, truly got him watched. So we thought he got a couple of little messages out there, didn't he, to get Quinn napped? But LBJ, he wants his freedom. And then the second thing he asked for, his bones. LBJ, what is up with those bones? Are they crafted from some kind of, priceless, material? Is it bombs, LBJ? Does it have monetary value beyond the fact that it is dinosaur bones? What's up with the bones, LBJ?
Listen, I think those bones might contain the actual codes that can set up, initiate, execute, re-implement, and go re-execute B613 if need be. There is something that's inside of those bones. There's something, those bones are a piece of a jigsaw puzzle that can be put together and could take down the society as we know it in the land of Scandal. Who knows? But Janiyah.
Well, LBJ, I'll tell you, there's a theory in the chat. Dan Blakemore is saying it's not about the dinosaur bones. It's really about Sandra TT's bones. Aha!
Really? Expound upon that. Janiyah, I'd like to take a moment and allow you to put on your thespian hat, and I'll put mine on. I'll be Papa, you be Olivia, since she began to interject, and you just interject throughout as I began to talk to you.
Oh my God.
Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Scene. There's an Oscar fillet that goes perfect with this wine. I have Quinn Perkins.
What game are you playing?
She is just fine, Olivia. You know that reckoning I told you about? That reckoning I was once talking about? That reckoning I was talking about, Olivia, is here. The reckoning is coming, and it has arrived. Your reckoning, Olivia. Quinn is the only person that can take you down. She is the only person that knows about your secret operation, Olivia. I am about to get my freedom. I want my bones back. I want my bones.
You will not have your bones. You will not touch a hair on her head. You won't do anything unless I tell you to do it.
You listen, Olivia.
What you'll do is you'll wait. You'll wait for instructions. You don't summon me, I summon you. You'll wait to be summoned. And when I summon you and tell you to hand over Quinn, that's exactly what you'll do.
You listen to me, Olivia. This is going to be an even trade. You will give me my bones, and I will give you Quinn. You took my dinosaur, Olivia. I want it back, or I will kill her. She is your friend, Olivia. You will comply with me. I'm not bluffing. I'm not bluffing.
You're bluffing. You're bluffing. You won't touch a hair on her head. You will never see those bones again. And don't you ever call me here and waste my time like this again.
Scene. Very good, Janiyah, for bringing in Olivia. Very good.
LBJ, I really need to get a wig. When we come back on 1/18/18, I really need like a straight wig that I can use for these Olivia reenactments, because I feel like you can't get into this character if you don't have that good press and curl.
She's got good B6. She's got, what did we say we're going to call B613? We're going to call it B. It was going to be called N11, or no, it's going to be called O11. O11. What was last Thursday? What's 16 minus 7? What's 16 minus 7? But we were going to call it O something.
I don't think last Thursday was the 9th. LBJ, I don't know what we were up to.
So what, maybe it was 011-9. Somebody tell us what we're going to call the new Basic 13. I forgot. We renamed it. Here's the thing, though. When you get the wig, Janiyah, it has to be like that straight wig, like the part, because Olivia's giving y'all she's giving you guys a lot of new attitude. I always say when a woman has a new hairstyle, she has a new attitude. And Olivia has a new attitude. And women always prove me right whenever they get a new hairstyle. They always have a new attitude. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it just makes you feel some kind of way.
LBJ, don't decode us. Don't decode us.
It's all right. Listen, you got to know these things, okay? To find success in life, some things you must know. And that comes from Papa Larry, not Papa Pope. Oh, hey. And Mike dropped. Hey.
LBJ is so good. And you know who else was trying to drop the mic tonight, LBJ?
It was Marcus Walker, wasn't it? Is that what you're about to say?
LBJ, I wasn't, but let's go there. Let's please go there.
I'm sorry. Okay, go. I thought you were going to say Marcus tried to drop the mic.
But LBJ, he did try to drop the mic. You are right about that.
In more ways than one.
LBJ, was that a double entendre? Hashtag inside joke.
Wait, Janiyah, Grace says to you, Grace says in the chat, Janiyah, if you find a wig, let us know. You know I'm struggling with these edges.
Oh gosh. Do what I do, pretend like you did it on purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had to do that. I didn't want it to lay down. But here I go. LBJ, Marcus tonight, he was in rare form. Why? Because normally when he spews the nectar at Mellie, it's a little bit more effective. Tonight, it didn't land in the way that he wanted it to. In some ways, he resonated. In some ways, he didn't. Let's recap this really quickly. So there was a scene where we see Fitz and Marcus. They're at the Fitz Institute, which is basically a room and a table.
Wait, Janiyah, I just thought about DC, all the nonprofits, downtown DC, that one street in one building you used to work in with that institute last name. All he needs is one good black woman as the office manager. Like, baby, we got donuts. Baby, we got.
LBJ, they didn't show her, but she's in the reception area.
And she's the queen of procurement. There's always one good queen of procurement.
LBJ, and then they give her some kind of great title, like, well, she's really culture leader for this space. That's what
exactly.
LBJ. And we see Marcus and Fitz sitting in the Fitz Institute, which is really, as much as we can see, it's a room and a table and 2 chairs and a stack of paper. I mean, they're not doing a great job with this set. I mean, we've been getting
right. It's just like, oh, we got a flat, we got 2 flats, great. Pull in 2 chairs, and okay, let's just roll cameras. Yeah. 3, 2, speed. They got it.
Right, and Shondaland thinks they're going to distract us with those 2 beautiful men sitting in that room. No, we're not distracted, because you didn't put any set budget aside for the Fitz Institute so far. No money has been spent whatsoever. But LBJ, there they are in their blank white walls, shuffling papers hither and thither. And who's on the television but Mellie? There's Mellie, and she is about to make history, LBJ. Mellie has continued to march down the road toward her nuclear arms treaty, that will greatly improve, things in the Middle East and for the history of and for the future of the world. And she's so excited about this. You recall from last week when she was there having no support because Olivia was busy looking for Quinn, and Mellie she had no one to boss her around. She had to make her own decisions. She was feeling so lost. She ended up reaching out to Marcus to get Marcus's advice about what to do. And Marcus ended up advising her to go ahead and move forward with the treaty, even though her number one boo, President Fine, had got. And so she took his advice and she was marching toward the treaty. It's going to be amazing for her legacy if it actually happens. And so Marcus is seeing her on the television and he turns to Fitz and says, our girl is making history. If she actually manages to pull this thing off, she's going to have so much political clout. She'll be able to get anything she wants done. We need to get her on board with the Fitz Institute criminal justice system reform work. And Fitz says, listen, good luck with that. I don't even see her anymore. I only have supervised visits with my children and the nanny and the culture leader. I don't even have any time with Mellie. I have no face time with her. And Marcus.
Wait, that is so ignorant, that whole culture leader thing. Okay, here's the thing. Shonda, and I was going to save this plug for the end of the episode, but okay, I'll still save it. But remember culture leader for the end of our episode tonight.
Okay, we'll save culture leader. And LBJ, and so, and Fitz is saying, listen, I can't talk to Mellie. And Marcus takes it as a challenge. And Marcus traces himself right on up to the White House. And he goes on in there and he gets time with Mellie. And then when he walks in, LBJ, it starts with an R and ends with residual nectar, is sitting all dripping down Mellie's face. She's there. Now you have to remember her heart is broken, LBJ, because her number one boo just got killed. Marcus had really played her to the left the last time she saw him, but she still is hoping that they're pining for each other. He walks in the office, LBJ, and what did you think was going to happen in that scene?
Listen, let's talk about the way that Marcus entered the scene, right? The aide walks in, Madam President, Marcus Walker is here to see you. And she goes, like she took a breath, like she felt the quiver, the internal quiver, or something quiver. She felt the shake. She felt the, that's what she felt. And so she's like, get it together, pull it together, Mellie. Here comes Marcus, you're the president. Marcus comes walking in. And he's like about to lay it down. So he thinks. And a side note, someone, I think it was Coffee Light and Sweet, she says Marcus sure did miscalculate that landing with Mellie, did he not? Mellie backed him right on up and then dismissed him. Well, and that's essentially what happened. What Coffee Light and Sweet said happened in that order, right? So Marcus walks in, he tries to speak to her and get her to be on their side. He's like, listen, I'm here as proxy for him. He can't be here. So just buy into this, Mellie. Let's all be one happy family. She's like, no, I don't think so. You can go. That's it. No nectar here. No, take your spigot and go someplace else. Don't come tapping my tree. And that's what she did, because Mellie, like Normina's Harmony and you, Janiyah, is still pressed about President Fine. I see you, Normina's Harmony. You and Janiyah are on the same page. You all are pressed about President Fine. Listen, it is hot down here in this basement. There's light over here, and I'm sweating all on my forehead. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
LDJ, listen, we like that because that's just going to help you to get the character, because there is more Eli Rowan Pope to come.
Ooh, I got Pope flowing through my veins tonight. I have him. I got him and yeah. Oh, I feel alive. Woo, Chaka Khan. I told you it was gonna come forth. It was gonna come forth. Oh yeah.
And so LBJ, that's really the end of Marcus. He ends up trying to resonate with Mellie in a way of depth. He's not able to. He does leave some propaganda behind. And Mellie, she still has her little pouty face, but she does pick up, the pamphlets and she starts looking through. And then by the end of the episode, she is interested in pursuing some of the criminal justice reform agenda. Hashtag Shonda using her platform. And she does end up meeting with Fitz. And so by the end of the episode, Fitz and Mellie are back in touch. And that's important because this is something that Mellie is doing that is exactly, completely, 100% against what Olivia has told her to do. So not only is Mellie not doing what Olivia told her to do, Fitz is not doing what Olivia told him to do. She told Fitz to get himself back to Vermont. He's not doing that, LBJ. So these two meeting, oh my gosh, LBJ, there will be, on the topic of wrath, there will be hell to pay. We can bet your bottom dollar on that, LBJ. So that's really Mellie and Fitz for this episode.
Yeah, Mellie, Marcus, and Fitz. We covered it. Mellie, Marcus, and Fitz. MMFF, Mellie, Marcus, Fitz Foundation. And who? The unknown culture leader to be played by maybe Janiyah Wright. Wait,
and just for the record, Shonda, I'm completely open to that. All right. So, LBJ, the other storyline we can probably whip out pretty quickly is Abby and David.
Oh, this was so good. This is so good. We think, I see, and maybe I'm wrong, but tell me if I'm wrong or if you disagree with me or if you agree. I think that this is going to be the predictable storyline for us to see come to the happy ending at the end. Now, if one of them get killed, it's going to be completely terrible.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, you're in Shondaland. You bought tickets. You knew what you could. You knew what you could witness here. It's almost like, Harambe at the zoo and they're dragging the child along the way. It's like, oh, Harambe has the baby. Come back. Well, if you happen the gorilla exhibit, Harambe's likely to take your child. Okay, just don't kill Harambe. So if Abby Red and David Rose end up dead this season, that is Harambe all over again.
Why is his name Harambe? Can we talk about that for a second? No, let's.
All right, big black gorilla named Harambe, meaning pull together. How about that? Like, really? Okay. So, Abby Red, and David Rosen, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that has been in the making for a while. It comes, it goes. Since the beginning. This is the epitome. This is the very epitome of hither and thither. Okay? That's what, and I know it's epitome. That's what I said it first, but it's the epitome for the sake of this conversation.
That's right.
Of hither and thither, because they've gone hither and thither this entire run of this show, and now David Rose is trying his best to lay it on as thick as he can, and Abby Red kind of gave in tonight, and it was really cool to see that. And what I loved about their relationship, David Rosen is really trying to court her in his David Rosen nerdy way. And I appreciate that. He's like, listen, I'm not coming to you with the B-boy swag. I'm not coming to you like the other men that you've had in your past. I'm coming to you as the man that I know that I am, the man that I can be for you, the man that we can, that I know that you need to be true. And I say that because I thought I was just being a lyricist right now, but I also love the way that David Rosen is attacking Abby Red's heart in a way that she has to stop and pay attention to him. And he's really calculated in the way that he's thinking about her, because he's thinking about her and their future together. He wants her around. And here's why I say it would be really messed up if she ended up dead, or if he ended up dead, because he says to her, he's like, listen, he's like, I want you out of this. We got to figure out a way to make you safe and keep you out of this, because Quinn is missing. We don't know where she is. And Harrison ended up dead. Shout out to the mention of Harrison in the final season of Scandal. I loved the fact that we got a Harrison mention in the final season of Scandal, because we love Harrison. As you all know, that funeral scene took me way out. Took me way out. Bridge over the water took me way out.
LBJ, and people in the chat are we're getting a little bit of mixed feelings here about this storyline. Grace is saying she's happy to see David and Abby reconnect. Dan Blakemore is basically just, he's just crying out, Lord, Abby and David. It's like, it's because that's how I feel. I feel like, what is next with this? When will this end? And LBJ, you're talking about Harrison and the Harrison shout out. there's another old gladiator that's getting shouted out in the chat, and it's by Miss L. Miss
Steven.
L. Miss L says, I agree with you, Larry Brown Jr. David and Abby will be the safe story, but I'm still holding out hope for another reappearance of Steven. Now, you know, Miss L, you just proved that you're a gladiator. Okay, because you done took it back to -3 episodes. Okay, see?
Well, I think she really just took it back maybe two and a half seasons when Olivia was like she was stuck in this foreign land, which was really another set that they constructed. And she's like walking around in this labyrinth on a soundstage. And then she exits the labyrinth and all of a sudden Steven is there to come in and help rescue her from this thing. She's like, oh, Steven, where have you been? He's like, oh, I've just been in London. I know using my Glow OT. I've been in London using my Glow OT. That's all. I'm going to get back on my helicopter and go home. Bye. And he leaves, and that's it. So it would be great. Yeah, we've not seen him since, so it would be great to see Steven again. Yes. Will it be a little cliche to see him again? I agree, because they've kind of said where he is. He has his place, and we are supposed to believe and trust that he's in that place. Now, if Steven comes back, he needs to come back dark, if you ask me. I feel like we do need to see Harrison before we say goodbye, but when we see Harrison, we cannot see Harrison exhumed and alive and like coming back like do-do. We can't see any of that, right? We got to see him. We've got to see Harrison come back in the form of a flashback. It has to be something that flashes back. And here's my thinking: if we see Harrison, guys,
yeah,
if Quinn Robin Lindsay is truly dead, we have to go back to the beginning when he had the first monologue of Scandal, when he wrote out the particulars of her engagement with OPA, and the very in season 1, episode 1, at that bar of Scandal. Let me tell you, that is what grabbed all of us and brought us into this show. He was the character that was used to get us in there, to get us. He was the train track that brought us to Olivia Pope and to everything that we're talking about now. So I feel like if we do see that, it would warm my heart to see that whole thing happen with Harrison. But I do think, Janiyah, as we were talking about, you mentioned you mentioned the shout out about Harrison tonight. Someone else had something else in the chat. They said it would be awesome. It would be awesome to see if Steven and Harrison came back to help Liv come back to the light. I don't know. Maybe Harrison will come to her in a dream as a little brother. I don't know. I really don't want to see Harrison in the current day of Scandal. I need to see him in flashback because they laid that man to rest.
I'll tell you this. I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy, but my understanding of things is that once Shonda gets rid of an actor, not a character, an actor, they're never seen on set again. Right? Like that's my understanding of things. Is there were certain actors, not characters, that got banished from Grey's Anatomy seasons ago. And here we are on season 157 of Grey's Anatomy. We ain't seen those actors again.
157. Well, they did bring back Isaiah Washington. They brought him back.
Okay, all right. Well, then so then if that is the case, then maybe it is possible that we'll see Harrison, because as the story goes, this was more about that actor leaving the show than it was about that character's storyline actually ending naturally. So
I think, though, I really do think that they should have. So when Normina's Harmony says, no, Denny came back as a cancer ghost after he died. I'm not sure which movie, which show that's from. But what I will say is that if
Denny LBJ, Denny is definitely Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, though, is that Harrison left the show. Columbus left the show essentially because he had to go. He had some demons he was fighting with drugs, and he had to go. It wasn't like he had bad blood with the folks on the show. I mean, he even said it. Shonda looked out for him. She was a big sister to him. She cared for him. She really wanted the best for him, as well as the other cast members. Like, they still speak well of him, and he speaks well of them. I think that it's almost as if there would be the network would have to green like this to say, yep, bring him in for a few lines. He'll say this, give the fans a little farewell to him, and let that be.
LBJ, why is your voice of the network like a
it's like the network. It's the network voice.
Can you do that one more time, LBJ, just to tell us how the network feels about it?
Sure, the network might say, you know what? Go ahead, bring him in, give him a few lines, and give the fans what they need, and that'll be that.
But the network is so level-headed. in the way that you portray the network. I really appreciate that, LBJ.
Thank you. Thank you. I have some more words for the network before we end tonight.
Uh-oh. And so, LBJ, that's basically, we've wrapped up yet another storyline there, because Gabby Red and David, by the end, okay, David is once again, with his inability to actually make a point and stick to it, he's trying to tell Gabby Red, oh, your life is too dangerous. I can't deal with the possible pain of losing you. And he's trying to give her an ultimatum in his whack David Rosen way. It does not resonate. She basically says to him, listen, it is what it is, boo. Okay. And they end up kissing, and that's where you end. That's the end of that storyline.
So how about when they kiss? Remember in the Cosby Show, whenever somebody would kiss or they would hold hands or a girl would call Theo, they would always go, "Woo!" That's how I felt when I saw David Rosen and Gabby Red kiss. Like,
I did a complete eye roll. Like, oh my gosh. But in LBJ, let me just say this, and I know that the women in the chat will know where I'm coming from. Everybody has a David Rosen. There's always a David Rosen. David Rosen exists in your life to teach you lessons about yourself. You don't end up with David Rosen, Gabby Red. I know you're in an emotional place right now. Okay? Your friend done got took. All right. You've been in transition. You lost one job. You're now running back to, not even OPA, QPA. You're in transition, girlfriend. We've all been there. But to go to your David Rosen and to go to that safe space when you know better, I don't know, LBJ. I definitely didn't do the woo. I did more like an eye roll. Okay. And if we had our sound effects, I would do a sad trombone for David and Gabby Red. Nobody wants to see them together.
Yeah, the song. I was going to ask what's the song.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Rakira said I'm being harsh on David, but I saw, I left is summing it up. David is your backup plan. Everybody has one, but you know what? You must fight against the dying of the life. Don't settle for your David Rosen.
Now, Tashelle is here, Janiyah, saying that Gabby Red will end up with Steven. She said Gabby Red loves Steven. She did love him. So maybe there will be a fight to the death. Fight to the death, but it's going to be all-out Hunger Games for Gabby Red when it's all said and done.
Listen, David Rosen don't know how to fight in no Hunger Games. David Rosen will flee. He will flee the stadium. Okay.
David Rosen will be like, I volunteer as tribute. Put me in the games. I'm going to be in there.
But if that would be the thing for us to finally see a spine out of David Rosen, to bring that storyline on, for goodness sake, I gotta say,
this man is trying. And like Grace said, Janiyah, you're being way harsh. Stop being way harsh.
Okay, there might have been a little bit of personal trauma that's coming out of my reaction to David Rosen, but anyway, you get the point. You get the point, LBJ.
But this personal trauma thing, Janiyah, leads me to another point that we need to talk about in this episode. You just mentioned personal trauma, and my mind immediately races to reporter Curtis, right?
Oh, absolutely,
he
LBJ.
Some kind of personal trauma tonight, right? Hello, caller. Personal trauma is on the line.
Hello, personal trauma? Yeah, LBJ.
Hello, thank you for calling the newsroom tip line. Oh, this is personal trauma. Hi, reporter Curtis. Personal trauma is on the phone for you.
LBJ, personal trauma called Curtis. Really? And Curtis went running right to it. So, Curtis, he's always on the hunt. He's trying to get the story. He's trying to get the inside track. Well, he gets called to a random, the hotel room, okay, by the woman who is currently Olivia's assistant, or posing as Olivia's assistant.
Surprise! Shaka!
They got B613s everywhere. We know that already. But so there's a woman who's Olivia's assistant who calls Curtis and says she has a super hot tip related to the death of President Fine. Curtis, he's always on the case. He goes to meet her in the hotel room. Next thing you know, yada yada yada, he's dead. Okay, and we see assistant calling who? Jake. It's done. She's a B613, LBJ. She
Yep.
done took Curtis out. Now on the news, they put out this whole propaganda about his car being found off on the side of the road with alcohol in it and stuff like that. They've set up a whole storyline now related to Curtis's death.
And this is so Gladiator, B613-ish, covert discretion, everything. Shout out to Kat Harlem, by the way. Shout out to Patricia Weatherspoon. Shout out to Shell. And also shout out to Rakira. We shouted you out earlier. Finnegan's mom. You guys just joined the chat not too long ago, and we want to shout you out. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you are still chatting, use the hashtag Scandal Recap. We want to shout everybody out as we can because this is the winter finale. We're not going to see you guys until 1/18/18, right? And so I think, right, so Janiyah brought, she talked about that very thing. But Janiyah, we have to take a moment and give honor where honor is due. I need everyone to go to their mysteriously imaginary sound effects button and go to the one that says applause. And I want you to push the one that has the biggest applause there, because we owe Janiyah a round of applause for the way that she has predicted Jake's involvement with all that's going on behind the scenes here. Janiyah brought to our attention last week, and she was sitting on it like a witch sitting on a brew that she needed to stir and reveal a potion, spell, magic, sorcery, something, because none of us had this in our back pocket. It was the Janiyah Wright who had this there. And Janiyah, you said Jake does not and cannot trust Olivia. He doesn't have the confidence in her. He trusts her to a point, but he doesn't have the confidence in her.
He does not.
So he's got to run his operation as his level, his version of command, while Olivia is her version of command. And tonight, Janiyah, that theory that you brought forth in last week's Scandal Recap towards the end was proven over and over and over again. So round of applause for Janiyah, everyone. Yes, thank you, Mrs. Creel Davis. Thank you, Rakira. I see the hands clapping in the chat. Yes, thank you, Janiyah. Congratulations.
Yeah, and LBJ, and he was up to his tricks tonight, LBJ. He was really up to it.
Full tricking.
He went to Olivia first to see how she felt about Curtis. And she was like, no, don't worry about it. Well, Jake did worry about it. Now Curtis gone, okay? Now, the other thing, and LBJ, there was something else that Jake did behind Olivia's back. And this was the betrayal, LBJ. Okay? Jake took himself up into the mountains or wherever, so wherever Papa Pope is staying right now.
He's at his wonderful home in Upper Northwest Washington. He's at that beautiful home that he has with well-appointed fixtures inside.
Oh, that's right. He drives himself right up to Papa Pope's house, okay? And he proceeds to try to tell Papa Pope what he needs to do. He says to Papa Pope, listen, you're not going to win this war. Olivia's playing chicken with you, and you're going to get fried, buddy. You're going to get fried. And Eli Rowan Pope says, you ain't going to tell me, I'm paraphrasing, you ain't going to tell me about my daughter, okay? I'm telling you, she's going to call chicken before I do. And Jake is saying, you don't know her anymore. I'm telling you that she has morphed, okay? And you, friend, are not going to win this one. And Papa Pope, and that little exchange was important because up until that little exchange, I was still suspecting that Jake was working with Papa Pope. And so that scene, put that to rest to some degree. Notice I said to some degree, because there have been times in this show where we've watched a scene play out, and then come to find out that scene was actually something that was staged because they knew somebody else was watching. And so, as far as we know, LBJ, they are not in cahoots. Okay, so that remains.
Allow me this moment to add this about Jake, though, and a few people in the chat are also bringing this tonight. So I said on my Twitter that I believe that Jake might be collateral damage before this season, and I'm making a prediction here. Jake might be collateral damage at some point in this season, or he's just going to be offed. I say that to say Jake is too far involved in his own Jakeness. He's involved in his own Jake land, his Jakedom. Instead of a kingdom, it's a Jakedom. And Jake is going slithering from hither and thither, as you would say, Janiyah, doing all kinds of shenanigans. And I think that it's going to come back and bite him. And many people in the chat are agreeing with me as I say this. I mean, I'm looking here. Patricia Weatherspoon says Jake needs to disappear. Then we've got Ms. L. Can we get rid of Jake? And Patricia Weatherspoon comes back and she says yes. Tashelle says Jake will die next. And then we've got Jake is talking to Liv, Cy, Rowan, and Mellie. He won't last a second with Mama Pope. There's all these different Jake things here. Mitch Krill Davis says Jake still wants to walk in the sunshine. I think Jake is beyond the sunshine.
Hashtag truth. Hashtag truth.
Here's the thing.
I
tonight,
I disagree. If Olivia said to him, if she said to him, even if he knew there was a chance that she was going to flip flop a week later, if she said to him, Jake, I want to run away, I want to give up on it all, and go with me, LBJ, he would go. Every time he's talking to her, he's telling her to choose. You're right. Choose stand or not.
Almost as if he's trying to expedite this whole thing so he can get his girl and go off. I get it. I get it.
He puts her in one space or the other. He's tired of the gray. But you better believe that wherever she lands, he's going to follow.
Patricia Weatherspoon said, ain't no sunshine for Jake Ballard. That's what Patricia Weatherspoon says. Now, here's something that listen to what Dan Blakemore brings up.
No sunshine for Jake.
But listen, so wait, Coffee Light and Sweet says, I think that Jake might sacrifice himself for Liv. He's in too deep with the sunshine fantasy. Now, here's the thing. Jake started digging his hole, his grave tonight in his comment that he made with Cyrus. Let's go back and rewind the tape to when Cyrus and Jake are meeting, and Jake makes this little side one-off comment that kind of tips Cyrus off and lets him know that Jake was the one that tortured Ponderosa Evergreen Candle, Uncle Daddy Fenton Boo that Cyrus is now dealing with, right? Cyrus looked at him as if he's like, you were the one that did that to him. And you know, Cyrus says in his mind, vengeance is mine, says Cy. And I think that this is going to start the Jake storm that has to happen. Now, listen, people are telling us to keep watching Uncle Daddy Fenton because Uncle Daddy Fenton is to still be watched. Keep your eyes peeled for him.
Yes,
but then Dan Blakemore says something that I could believe. He says, if Jake is going to fall, will Vanessa be behind it? Remember, although we've been saying nobody cares about Vanessa, we've not seen Vanessa. Vanessa's not dead. Vanessa is alive and she is well. And Vanessa, it may not be sipping anymore, but she might be tipping and dipping and all kinds of stuff that we have no idea about. And it could very well be that she's working with Cyrus at some point, and she could very well be a way that Jake could be taken down. And then we will all care about who?
Vanessa. And you know what? I always felt like Vanessa might be up to something, recall, because for me, there was something about the extent to which they developed her character for us.
Oh, wait, ding dong. Wait, fact checker Frank has to check himself. It wasn't Jake. it was Charlie who tortured Uncle Daddy. And Rakira was about to come in and definitely check me because she said, who tortured Uncle Daddy? Thank you, Rakira. I felt your doorbell about to ring. I helped you out. I got you.
LBJ, I love when fact checker Frank can just, come in and check himself.
We gotta find sound effects for 18. This is our last season. Like,
LBJ,
this is it.
You're right. This issue must be rectified.
Our last chance to get it right. Like, this is it.
LBJ, let's do the whole thing we promised. Backdrops and better equipment.
Promotions and handbills and tweets and a producer and graphics and dial-ins and a number. All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, LBJ. Yeah, don't hold your breath, folks. LBJ, there's something that we have to talk about, and I have to say, I am shocked and amazed that this has not come up in the chat. The only person who mentioned the Cyrus's candle in the chat was Mrs. Creel Davis, where she says, "Rich Uncle Daddy gave Cy a Ponderosa pine candle."
Is that the one with that actually had the evergreen tree in the comment? I did see that.
There's an actual Ponderosa pine in the statement. LBJ, everybody, This candle is bugged. Hello. Why?
Yes, thank you.
This candle must be bugged because even the way that he framed it up, he told Cyrus, and this is Cyrus's recap of his conversation with Uncle
Come on,
Daddy.
Janiyah. Come on, y'all. Crack the codes.
He says, "Oh, Uncle Daddy gave me this candle because he said it'll be his eyes on me while I'm not, while he's not with me, right? Like it's him, it's representative of him." LBJ, that is a high-tech monitoring device, or it's a high-tech murdering device. I wouldn't be surprised if every single
like
time
if it explodes upon burning.
If it explodes, or every single time, Cyrus whips it in, he's taking in poison that's slowly killing him. The point is, get that candle out of your office, Cyrus.
So here's my question to you, though, Janiyah. My question, though, is what is the why? I was in a meeting. I was in a 3-day meeting this week in a different state. And I just got back home yesterday. And this woman stands up at the meeting and she says, "Ladies and gentlemen, before we go into this meeting, this 3-day meeting, I want to present something to the people." Mind you, we had just had dinner. We've all been traveling that day.
Yeah.
And she says, "I want you to think about, I just buried a man that was 800 years old. And this 800-year-old man had given his life of service and to breaking down the walls of injustice around our community. And ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed this week, I want you to to get one thing on your mind. Get this one thing on your mind. Think about the why. I want you to think about the why." And so, Janiyah, I bring that same question to you. What is the why for Uncle Daddy's notion and urge to get under Cyrus to get this access? What is the why? Guys, help me figure this out, because I'm still at a loss for the why of it all.
Yeah. Well, LBJ, you've come to the right place with this question. Well, first of all, I don't know what specifically Uncle Daddy is up to, but I know generally what they all are up to, LBJ. What he's here for. And LBJ, it's power, okay? Everything he's doing, it's going to be some kind of economic power, some kind of political power. But LBJ, the fact that he just came out the archives, traipsed himself into the White House, made a relationship with Cyrus, endured getting beat to death by Charlie with oranges, and is still dating Cyrus, has now placed a mysterious murderous monitoring device, candle, in Cyrus's office. He has a larger plan that he has been working on for a very, very long time. And when I was first trying to come up with what he might be up to, I thought, he's a high-tech mogul. And when you think of that kind of person, that's a person that would really benefit from like weapons of mass destruction, or like that's the kind of wealthy person that would like really make money from war, that kind of thing. But then I realized, LBJ, that he might not actually be a wizard with technology. That whole thing could be a front. So LBJ, at this point, I don't think they've given us enough clues.
They've not. But I do think that because they remember nothing, and especially in this last and final season of the show, nothing is for fun. Like, this is not for giggles, okay? And I think that we saw that candle. We were in, and they focused on it so that we could see the candle, like the ombre coloring of the candle, the different layers. We saw that Ponderosa evergreen. Side note: did anybody else think about fried chicken and unlimited soft serve ice cream when they said Ponderosa? Remember Ponderosa, the buffet?
Do you mean my entire childhood, every single Sunday after church? Like,
I'm talking about how we used to beg my grandmother to take us to Ponderosa when she used to babysit us. We would go get chicken wings, and she would take extra chicken wings and put them in her purse and take them home with her. Absolutely, yeah, Ponderosa.
LBJ,
love you, Granny. Love you,
LBJ. And growing up in Pittsburgh, let me tell you, Ponderosa, that was an acceptable date at the high school level.
I cannot. Wait.
Yes, it was.
Wait, listen. August Wilson never wrote about Ponderosa dates in his plays in Pittsburgh, okay?
Well, it was implied. It was implied. LBJ.
Wait, in Fences, they went to Ponderosa on a date in Fences.
That's where they were just coming back from. Nobody
piano lesson, Ponderosa.
Everybody in Pittsburgh, we know that already. He didn't have to write it because we know. We were hanging out on Ponderosa, LBJ. I have many childhood.
Steel mills and Ponderosas.
That's all we had, LBJ.
I love it.
So yeah, LBJ, time will tell what Uncle Daddy is up to. But I will tell you who is, really playing their cards, LBJ, and playing them out.
Wait, Jackie O 2006 said that painting might be bugged too. So are we saying now, are we as a group, as a family, as a crew, as a posse, as a clique, are we saying that Cyrus is no longer smart enough to be, to like go through all this stuff? Do we need to do another For the D challenge for Cyrus? Is he off his game? Is that what we're saying here?
LBJ.
Is that what we're saying here?
Well, LBJ, there's another theory. There's another theory that it has to be surfaced, LBJ.
Okay.
And if not me, who? If not now, when?
Come on.
And that is that perhaps Cyrus and Uncle Daddy are in cahoots in some way. Now, at this point, I'm looking at Cyrus as a victim of Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy's gonna get him. LBJ, what if Uncle Daddy already made a pitch to Cyrus and Cyrus has signed up? What if Cyrus and him came up together with this idea of putting this candle, in his office? Okay. Anyway, LBJ, here's the point. I don't trust Uncle Daddy. Okay. And I certainly don't trust Cyrus. So no, I don't think he's necessarily off his game. The last time we thought Cyrus was off his game and so heartbroken, he was kind of in on it, wasn't he? So LBJ, no, I don't trust him. I don't think he's off his game. He is still vicious. He is still wants to be president of the free, king of the free world. King, word used intentionally. And LBJ, no, I don't think he's off his game. That's my perspective, LBJ. I think Cyrus is working some kind of plan, just like Uncle Daddy is. They're either together or they're both working a plan. But they're both working a plan, LBJ.
I love it. I love it. I came, I saw, I left, says, I would low key like to see Cy do the For the D challenge. Well, listen, we kind of helped Cyrus out on his For the D challenge. I came, I saw, I left. Go back about 2 or 3 episodes, and we did a whole Cyrus For the D challenge. It was very, very, very good. Go back, take a look at it. Tell us what you think about it, and add some more bars to the Cyrus For the D challenge.
Yes, and LBJ, and I'm looking at the time. We need to keep it moving. Because
we need to move right into the moment I've been waiting for. We have Mellie and Olivia to talk about. We've also got to talk about what happened at the end of the episode as relates to Quinn, Daddy Pope, Papa Pope, Olivia, all of that. But to get to that moment, Janiyah, please take us to. Let me take us there, because there's a moment that I said even last week. I said this, toot toot, that's the sound of my own horn, ladies and gentlemen. And I say this because I have been waiting for this moment the entire time we've been walking into season 7. What is this moment? The moment that I walk in, the camera cuts to, and we see a woman in all of her glory standing, and she says one word, and that one word is Livy. We got Mama Pope tonight. Yeah, I'm alive.
She's back, LBJ. Woo! She is back, and apparently she never left.
She didn't leave. And shout out to, I think it was Grace, who talked about Olivia Pope and Mama Pope's European realness tonight in their weaves that they had. So if you can find you a Mama Pope, Olivia Pope, look for 2018, Janiyah, go for it.
Yes.
That Pope woman look is in. # Black Girl European Magic.
LBJ, it's so true. It's so true, because they make it look so good, LBJ. And it was Grace who said, by the way, wasn't Liv and Mama Pope giving us European silky realness? That was
yes,
Grace.
It was Grace. Yes, thank you. It was Grace. Yes.
So good. And LBJ, so let's talk about this. So we
wait, Dan Blakemore says, thank you, Dan. And thank you, Miss L. Yes, toot that horn, LBJ. Here she puts all these trumpets. I get it. Blow a reveille. Blow it. Listen, And let me
He's the boogie,
yes, wait, and then Dan Blakemore says, as soon as Mama Pope appeared, I said LBJ is calling on Chaka Khan right now. Dan, I was like, Chaka Khan, thank you for the intercession. Chaka Khan, I hear you, Chaka Khan. Yes, she shall appear and she shall speak. And she spoke. Oh, it became real tonight.
Yes, it was so real, LBJ. And so why did we even find out? Why do we even see Mama Pope today? Well, that's a good question. The reason we saw her was because Olivia was at her wit's end. Okay. She was there caught between, so she tried to tell herself, between a rock and a hard place. She was there in this power struggle with her father. Jake is trying to give her advice, lean into being command, do what needs to be done. She's feeling broken in the inside. Quinn is, she's having palpitations in the night, can't have sleep. Okay. She's drinking, she's going into the darkness, LBJ, and not the kind of darkness that is command, the kind of darkness that is depression. Okay. We're watching her start to unravel. And LBJ, right when she's at her wit's end and not knowing how to make the next move. She doesn't know what to do. She's playing chicken with her father. She's saying to her father, oh, no, you're not ever going to get these bones. You just give me Quinn back. And her father is saying, oh, you better give me my bones or you'll never see Quinn again. And so there she is, not knowing what to do. And we see her, and again, the hair. I got to get a prop, LBJ. We see the hair. The hair.
Get a sheet or a towel or something. You gotta have something nearby.
LBJ, I have my.
Oh yes. And it's black too, or is it like navy or something?
Yeah, it's black. It's black. LBJ, there she is. The power. LBJ, she's doing the power hair. The hair is swooping. LBJ.
In her red jacket, walking down that hallway.
That's right. And LBJ, she gets to the door. The door opens. The door is protected by a Secret Service person.
Who could have been played by me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
LBJ, can I tell you something? You would have been excellent in that role.
All I have to say is Olivia Pope's entering and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then look at her and nod. That's all I could have done.
LBJ, you open doors all the time. You would have been excellent at that part. I've seen you open many a door.
Hashtag gentleman and a scholar. Continue.
LBJ, he opens the door. The person who's playing Larry Brown Jr.'s role opens the door, okay? And who's in there, LBJ? In a lavish apartment, okay? That's the only word that can be used to describe this apartment / jail, okay? LBJ, it is none other than Mama Pope because Olivia has come to her for advice. And the very first thing she says, LBJ, I need you to break it down. She says one word, and it's the word we've been waiting to hear.
She said, Livy. What a pleasant surprise. I was like, yes!
LBJ is so crazy. Because she's sitting in there. Her hair is, again, freshly done.
Right, not laid to the side. I'm talking about it has grown exponentially, okay?
That's right. Got that good hair in there, LBJ. I mean, she's taken care of, okay? This apartment is lavish, LBJ. And she's in there reading a magazine, hanging out, having a good old time.
In like satin pajamas or something like that.
Satin pajamas, satin prison garb, I guess. That, So LBJ, there she is in her satin prison garb and her satin lace front wig and her prison lace front wig. And LBJ, and we find out that this is the second apartment that she's been in because Olivia had apparently moved her to a new apartment when she became suspicious of her father and her father almost finding out where Mama Pope might be. So she had apparently moved her.
Have I not said since we last saw Mama Pope, we don't know where she is, but Olivia knows where she is because Mama Pope had very specific instructions as to what she wanted. She wanted access to picket fence and cable TV so that she could see her baby on TV. Those are her requests.
That's it.
And those requests were honored, but I can talk about that a little bit later. But keep going. Take us there, Janiyah.
Well,
I'm ready for this. I'm alive.
LBJ, what she said was, I have cable. Now, we're running late tonight, LBJ, but I have to just give this nugget. we already know that B613 type level terrorism, that they know how to send messages through public media. I can't help but wonder why she needed cable so bad, LBJ, because you can watch the news without having cable.
Janiyah, you
Okay.
are on it. You are on it.
Anyway, Mama Pope, why you gotta watch TV all the time, Mama Pope? What you looking for, Mama Pope? What you up to? So anyway, she can't be trusted. But so Olivia goes to her for advice. All right, and she's saying, Dad took Quinn. Mama's like, Quinn who? And she's like, Quinn, the brunette one for my team. She's pregnant now. Dad took her. And Mama Pope, LBJ, I have to go ahead and use this word. She was almost pleased about this whole thing going down, LBJ. And Olivia's recounting the details and the push and the pull. And Mama is not phased at all, LBJ.
Oh, I got all of Mama for you. Here you go. Here's what Mama said. Mama saw Olivia when she came in. Olivia goes, "Hello." Mama goes, "Livy, what a pleasant surprise." And this is her swinging her hair. What a pleasant surprise. This hair like going all the way down here. And she goes, "You've been busy." She said, "Yeah." She says, "As chief of staff or as command?" She said, "Both." Olivia says, Mama says, "I told you could do it all, baby. You could have it all."
Have it
she
all.
Says, Olivia's has her in the apartment. She said, and she says, "Olivia, you got me here in this apartment." She said, "I have my cable, I have my food, I have no complaints." Remember, those are her requests. She got her requests.
No complaints. Yep, I have no complaints.
I have no complaints. She said, "Your father's doing what?" "Yeah." "What do you mean? He took her?" She said, "Yes, Mom. He's talking about he wants his bones back. His dinosaur."
LBJ, now didn't you think she was going to reveal something about the dinosaur?
I did. I thought she wasn't.
She was just laughing at it.
She was just laughing because she's like, "This man is still the same nerd that I laid with to create you." That's essentially what she was doing.
Either that, LBJ, or she received the message, right? She had a distinct reaction to the bones. It was either her, LBJ, laughing at the fact that this man is the character that she always knew him to be, or she's laughing at the fact that this is the thing that brought her daughter in for advice.
Could the dinosaur be a big bomb that's supposed to explode and kill tons of Americans and then start this onslaught of terrorism in the country?
I'll tell you this, LBJ. I just feel like Papa Pope and Mama Pope, they have Olivia down to a science because they created her. Mm-hmm. And I just can't help but wonder if this was a message being passed between them. Her reaction to the comment about the bones made me feel like she picked up something Rowan was dropping. Anyway, but please keep going, LBJ, with this thing.
So she says, his dinosaur. Oh, Lord, you can't be serious. And Olivia says, "Listen, you can be my mother or you can be a bitch." And then she goes walking out the apartment, sauntering off in her red jacket and her long hair just flowing. She said, "Girl, if you don't sit your dramatic ass down," that's what those were her exact words. She said, now listen, you talking about this little brunette girl. What she got on you? Mm-hmm. This Quinn girl, what she got on you? She's saying, "You playing this game of chicken with your daddy." She said, "With your father. Why are you playing this game of chicken?" She must know something. Olivia's like, "She's got secrets. She's got secrets." "Oh yeah, secrets. Yep. She's got secrets and she's ready to spill it, isn't she?" She said, "You're not ready to admit that, are you, Olivia? You're not." She said, "You know what? You still have a tiny little sweetness about you. We got to tear that sweetness out. We got to yank it out and make it bitterness, Olivia." I'm paraphrasing. I'm ad-libbing at this point. And she sat back and she said, "Don't hate the player. Hate the gang." And she's like, "Don't hate the player. Hate the gang," because all this hair is swinging. And she says to her, she says, "That's how you win against your daddy." She said, "You let the clock run out and you win against your father. Let her die, Livy. Let her die." And Olivia is just like, "Wow, thank you for this eye-opening moment, mother. Okay, all right, I receive it. I'm out. Let her die." And Olivia processes out the room. And that's essentially what we saw happen with Olivia Mama Pope. I'm so glad we got a chance to see her tonight. Thank you so much for letting us see Mama Pope, because this further proves my point I've been saying since episode 1 of season 7, that we are going to see the popes come together and unite or break down this entire thing. And it's going to implode from the popes, and there's going to be a pope something that goes down either between them, or they're going to unite against everybody and take everything down.
Yeah. And LBJ, we are going to also learn the depths of this Mama Pope, Papa Pope relationship. You know, Finnegan's mom is saying Mama Pope may have been laughing at Olivia, believing Eli was really upset about Bones. You know, it's just, for me, LBJ, this Mama Pope, Papa Pope, you know, relationship, I don't know that we have the answers yet. You know, and I feel like they're peeling back the onion for the big reveal at the end, LBJ. Are they in cahoots together? Who knows? Time will tell. And LBJ, you just, if we had sound effects, I would give you some applause, LBJ, because you recapped that scene perfectly. You know, what we actually saw there was Olivia watching herself turn into her parents, but going to her parents, she's reacting to one parent, getting advice from another parent. But LBJ, all she's doing is
who said she's going to become mama or daddy? Who said she's going to become mama or daddy? Who said it? He said it. Keep going.
And LBJ, the Jackie O 2006 said, I am very tired of Olivia and her piss poor attitude. She's becoming a mope, which equals Mama and Papa Pope combined. She's in the darkness. And yes, she is Mama and Papa Pope combined. Literally, she is, LBJ. But also in terms of the spirit man. Okay, because she's battling with the evil, LBJ. So she leaves her conversation with Maya. All of us here in Scandalland, we are on a high because we've just seen Mama Pope, and we have now Mama Pope. As usual, she says the thing that is lurking around in Olivia's brain that hasn't quite made its way to the forefront. She tells Olivia, listen, if Quinn dies, all of your problems are solved. Let her die. Meanwhile, Olivia is still wanting to overcome her father while keeping Quinn alive. She still wants to call her father's bluff. And so she then, LBJ, we get LBJ to the big confrontation. Okay? The big confrontation. And this is between Olivia and Eli, LBJ. And this scene, LBJ, you've got to take you got to give this scene the what it deserves. This scene, everyone, is Olivia and Eli when they're out of time. What do we mean by out of time? Well, Eli Ryan Pope this entire time has been saying that if he doesn't get his two things, his freedom and his bones, he's going to take Quinn on out of here. And there's a deadline, okay? And guess what? Time is up. And Olivia, she goes in, LBJ, she goes in.
Shout out to the makeshift weave.
She goes in. I swear, oh God, I'm going to get a wig before our next chit chat, our next cat over, because I need that hair to get into this character. LBJ, she walks in and she walks into the house and she is in character. There's no way that you would be able to tell from her there. And LBJ, somebody pointed out in the chat, it was I came, I saw, I left. Who asked, anybody else notice Olivia's makeup is dark to reflect her character? The transition.
Yep, that was PG.
LBJ, you cannot tell by her exterior what had been happening to her just minutes prior, days prior, hours.
We even saw her having night terrors before the whole thing happened, remember?
LBJ. But she walks in and she is in character. The weave is ready. She's in character, LBJ. And she walks in to call her father's bluff. So her father is there. She walks in. LBJ, take us through the scene.
So Olivia walks in. Oh gosh, this scene was so powerful. So Olivia walks in and she's like, so first of all, Olivia, this is where Olivia is actually summoned. Her father summons her and she goes in. She's like,
Time is up.
He's like, time is up, Olivia. What are you going to do? Are you going to give me what I want? And you will get your Quinn, your friend, in return. And she's like, no, you will not get anything. You won't get your freedom, nor will you get your bones. You will go and do what you want to do. And once you do what you want to do, I will still be looking at you because you will have nothing to say to me. He's like, Olivia, what do you want? Do you want your friend or do you want to die? And he's like this, shaking the gun. He's putting the gun on her and the gun is shaking. Shaking gun from Rowan Pope. As she's shaking the gun, Olivia's like, what? Nuck if you buck, daddy. Nuck if you buck. Nuck if you buck. She's like, these is expensive. This is expensive. She's like, these is red bottom. These is blood shoes. She's all Cardi B on her dad. And she's going back and forth.
LBJ, she says, shoot me then.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. She was going to say, I don't dance no more. I make money move. Shoot me then. That's what she says to the man. She's like, shoot me then. And he's like, and he puts the gun down. He can't do it. And
LBJ, I have to pause you for a moment because I know I'm not the only one in chat. If you hear me, I know I'm not the only one that thought that she was honestly, in some ways, looking for the relief of death. Right? I mean, Olivia is truly at a point where we've watched her hate the person that she's become. Right? She hates it. She hates it so much that she goes into these moments where she's in denial about it, that she resents it. And I'm going to also say, you know, Kerry Washington is skinnier than we have ever seen her. Right? I don't know if they're doing this for the character or if she just needs to stop breastfeeding now. You know, I don't know what the problem is, you know, but she is skinnier than she's ever been. And if we look at it from the character
perspective. Can I just talk about how I wish I could breastfeed too? Because that breastfeeding does work wonders. Sidebar, keep going.
Listen. When you see a girl after her, you know, after her baby has been born and it's only been, 2 months and that baby weight is gone, she's breastfeeding. It's like magic. It's like magic, yep. LBJ.
Yeah, it is.
And so we, there in that moment, there was so much of that wasn't true. We saw Olivia putting on this front in many ways. But I have to say, LBJ, I think there was a nugget of truth in that one moment where she said, just shoot me then. Because I think, frankly, there have been moments where she has wanted the relief of death.
I disagree with you, Janai. I think that her saying "just shoot me" then was her taking was Olivia heeding her mother's advice. And remember, Olivia's mother said to her, she said, "You still have a little bit of sweetness left in you," and she was trying to overcome that sweetness in that moment. Olivia still can wear a white hat, and they know that she can still wear this white hat. But Olivia is trying to connect with that. Remember, she's not had her moment in the hole to be converted into the Church of B613. She's not been to the altar and kneeled and kissed the ring of Daddy Pope and said, "You are my father, I am your child," in this this B613ness. She's not said any of that before. But what she has done is she's taken this role as command and she's taken it in her own way as she's seen it. Remember, this is as she's doing command as she's seen it from her dad through the lens of her daddy's eyes, her work with her daddy, Jake's work, Quinn's work, Huck's work, Charlie's work, everybody who was killed way back where in all those folks that they had to kill and take out in that tunnel on that bus, all of them, all the 13 stuff, she's seen it through all their eyes. She's not truly been converted. She's a B613 wannabe. And so she does not know the darkness that her parents have doubted. Remember, I said all season long, she's like darkness, light, darkness, light, darkness, light. And then we see her darkness and light trying to play a role. Even her father says to her in this moment, guys, her father says, Olivia, you still have a soul. There is a soul in you, Olivia. Her parents know her. They know that she is not cut out for this. They know that she can't stand to see Quinn dead, this baby dead. She even says, you expect me to stop you from killing who you think is my friend, this baby I've already fallen in love with, and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Go ahead and do it. And then she goes, I have something better. When he couldn't shoot her and kill her, she goes, hello, B613 hotline. Hi, this is command. Yes, Olivia, I'm the new hell. I'm the new high water. Please, in 20 minutes, execute a kill command. Level 5 for Rowan Pope, Upper Northwest DC. You know where he is. Ping my phone. I'm right here in his face. Please come and kill him in 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes left to live, Dad. And I'm going to give you 60 seconds to play with it. This is all going down in the episode tonight. So if you haven't seen it, it's about to come back on in another 13 minutes. No, another 23 minutes on the West Coast. So here's the thing. Olivia's doing all this bantering back and forth with her dad. Her dad cannot believe that she is doing what she's doing. So much so, guys, that Rowan Pope is visibly shaken. Rowan Pope is visibly taken aback. We've never seen Rowan Pope like this in any of his scenes before because he has been here. Tonight, he was here. And while he was here on the episode, we saw Rowan Pope in an unbelievable way. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry, Abby. The chat is cracking me up like right now. Let me see. I just lost it. Mrs. Creole Davis said that Liv she never crossed the burning sands. She was a wannabe. I can't find it. It's like she was a wannabe B613. I'm sorry, LBJ. It was just
she was a jigaboo, not a gamma ray. She wasn't a true gamma ray.
She wasn't, LBJ, but your points are so right at this point, LBJ. You're breaking it down so good because what we were just seeing there was Olivia, trying to go through these motions. And at the end of the day, she was also using this as an opportunity to tell her father about himself. Why would you say that I still have a soul when you've been working so hard to make sure I don't have one?
Yep.
Right? And then LBJ, and this is when it's the last season of the show, because she listed out his transgressions. This is when the show is wrapping. Okay.
How does she do it, Janiyah? Take us there.
LBJ, she said, I don't know why you still think I have a soft, chewy center when you are the one that stole it from me. The first thing you did is you gave me a dead mother. Then you revealed the truth and told me my whole life was a lie.
Yes, Janiyah, yes.
You took away the man that I loved, and you killed his son, right? And she was like, and now you've taken this person who you think is my friend. I'm incapable of having friends because you've made me in your own image. So if you think that I'm here playing chicken, I want you to know that you're wrong. Because we don't have no chicken over here where the hell in the high water is, okay? You, sir, take her out. You've got 60 seconds. LBJ, she basically used it as an opportunity to read him his rights. So what she was doing there, LBJ, is zeroing in on his soft, chewy center, right? Without saying it, she was essentially saying, if I have a soul, you have one too. Okay,
yep.
And she was appealing to it right then.
Yes, and let's rewind because that is very key, Janiyah. Yeah. She's saying, if I have a soul, you have one too. Let's push the rewind button. And we go back to the scene where Olivia Pope and Papa Pope are in the room listening to Stevie Wonder, and a gun comes out, and someone has the right or the opportunity to pull a gun on the other. Do we remember that? We were like, is somebody going to die? What's going to happen? And it didn't go down. It did not happen. We've seen this face-off before, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
This is no new thing to us, right? But
the last time Papa Pope didn't flinch, and I saw our left is pointing out that Olivia didn't flinch this time. It was literally the same thing, LBJ.
Yep, the last time she had the gun, and this time he had the gun. He couldn't believe that she would pull the trigger that he'd already dismantled the gun. It wasn't going to fire. But when she pulled it, he couldn't believe it. He was like, "Ah!" Remember, he screamed in the house. He screamed. Here's the thing. I will submit to you. We've been speaking something since last season, maybe even the season before when we had sound effects. I think the sound effects went away last season. What have we been singing with that sad trombone? Nobody cares about Vanessa. I don't think Quinn is dead. I think Papa Pope killed Vanessa in that basement.
Wow.
Quinn is not dead. Quinn LBJ, is not dead.
Let me tell you, many
of you think Quinn is alive as well.
Many people in the chat are agreeing with you, LBJ. A lot of people are saying, basically, I would go ahead and say that the sum of it in the chat is that people think Quinn is still alive. Shell says Quinn is still alive. You know, Deborah Battle says, I've seen too many shows. If there's no body, there's no death. You know, Finnegan's mom is saying that maybe Quinn really is dead, you know. So LBJ, you know, there's a little push and pull out there. What's your theory, LBJ? Your theory is that Quinn is alive.
My theory is Quinn is alive. Olivia better not go and see a body because he's going to take her and put her in a hole and really turn her. If she goes down to see this body, she needs to exit immediately. Yeah. And I think that Quinn is going to emerge because someone else, Huck probably, is going to figure out where she is. And they're going to be able to go and rescue Quinn and Baby. And they're going to unite again. And it's going to be an all-out war, as I've been saying, within the Pope family. Now,
LBJ, I have to tell you, I right now am 100% in alignment with Rakira. Rakira's theory on all of this is that Quinn made a deal with the devil, Papa Pope.
Oh, man.
Now, thank you, Rakira. I'm happy you said it. I agree 100%. And you know when I'm using my finger, when someone uses their finger like this is when you're really making a point. Okay,
your finger is symbolically your Olivia Pope hair tonight.
That's right. Because this finger is really driving this point home, LBJ. This is how I'm going to make sure this resonates. Okay, because Quinn made a deal with the devil, Papa Pope. That's what Rakira said, and I agree. You have to remember, Papa Pope was trying to find allies to turn Olivia. We watched him go to Fitz. How do we know he didn't also go to Quinn, right? Mm-hmm. How do we know that Quinn didn't go to him, right? And so at this point, all we heard was
because she is a surviving member of B613. Remember, she's a surviving member of B613.
That's exactly right. Even though she had like the express boot camp, you know,
TSA pre-version, she did TSA
pre-check. But LBJ, all we had was 2 shots off camera and Quinn yelling, "Oh, please!"
Maybe not Quinn.
That's all we got. Now I don't know, LBJ. I mean, I've never been shot, but I have seen enough episodes of Law and Order SVU to know that if you're going to scream, please, you're going to make a sound when you get shot. Mm-hmm. She didn't even make any sound, LBJ. I believe that she is alive. She has made a deal with Papa Pope. They are trying to turn Olivia back into the version of her that they like, which is still none too, you know, rosy. Okay. That white hat's always been a little dingy. Okay. But they want her back to her old version of herself. And I think they are in hashtag cahoots. So LBJ, that's my theory on tonight. And yours, frankly, LBJ, is shifting paradigms to take Vanessa into the tomb. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, take her down, take her out. Because why? Nobody cares about Vanessa. And here's the other thing. Quinn is not dead. Even if it was Quinn that was down there, there was not enough blood on that man's collar and shirt for me to believe that he actually shot a woman who was pregnant and that blood did not splatter everywhere on him. There were sprinkles of blood, but it was not a full-on slaughter in that basement. But shout out to his basement access. Did you hear the man go off camera and go, yes, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again? And then you heard, and the door opens. I said, oh, how do you get that on your basement door? I really want that. So maybe in 2018 for the new season, I'll have that. And I'll come down and I'll be in my Papa Popeness. I'll have a backdrop. I'll have a scene. I mean, we'll have a set. We'll have a producer. We'll have all these different things for the last half of season 7. We speak. And you know what else I'm speaking, Janiyah? I am speaking into the atmosphere. I am speaking into the universe. I am charging it now because they have not wrapped production. That we will get a telephone call from some representative from Shondaland who are going to invite us to Los Angeles to film a scene for Scandal. Whether we play reporters on the White House lawn, whether we be extras in a scene and we look and we give Olivia and someone a side eye because we see the Pope family walking together. We will be in the final season of Scandal. We will be there. We will be on ABC. I am speaking it now. And if you stand with us, if you support us, retweet, talk about it, tell them we will be a part. And just as we stand on that camera, we will take each and every one of you with us in our heart and in our minds, because we know that we have been riding with this show from beginning to end. And this is something that we want to do as a family to say farewell to this show. We have worked hard. So Janiyah, that's why I said the culture creator, the culture manager, that can totally be your role before this season is over. And the Fitz Foundation, let it be done. Let it be so. We're going to LA. Pack your bag.
LBJ, I receive it. Shaka Khan. LBJ,
Shaka Khan.
I see it too. LBJ, I receive it. Okay. And let me just say, LBJ, what we have to just really emphasize here is that our bar is pretty low. So a walk-on role, we'd love that. Just for the note, Shonda, the bar is pretty low. Okay. LBJ, this was so much fun tonight. Do you have takeaways? Was there a Scandal jam session? Did I miss it?
No jam session tonight. There was no need. You know, the only jam session that was music to my ears, Janiyah, it was one word. Livy. That was the jam session tonight. That was the jam session.
That was it, LBJ. Oh, man.
Well, I'm still alive.
LBJ in those satin pajamas. Oh, my gosh. But I will tell you, shenanigans is afoot. Shenanigans is afoot.
It's gonna. My only takeaway and prediction tonight that we are about to see a full breakdown, breakthrough with everyone in the cast of Scandal. Now, before we go away, remember we have to remember David Rosen and Gabby Abby Red and potentially Steven that we've brought up in this conversation tonight, right? We also have to remember the Fitz Foundation. The Fitz Foundation has its place in Washington. They're not going anywhere. So the Fitz Foundation will spill over and the nectar will flow potentially with Mellie again. Maybe we will see a breakdown between Marcus Fitz and Mellie. Maybe, they will all become strange bedfellows. Who knows? It remains to be seen. Then we have to fast forward to Uncle Daddy Fenton and Cyrus, as well as the Ponderosa Evergreen Candle. What's going to become of Uncle Daddy Fenton's relationship with Cyrus? What is really going to happen? How will Cyrus make it all work for his benefit and his good? Will Cyrus be taken down, or will he rise to the top as the help he knows how to be rises to the top? And ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, where is Quinn? Is Quinn alive or is Quinn dead? If Quinn's alive or is Quinn dead, how will Huck treat this? Many of you said Huck will kill Olivia. Huck will kill Papa Pope if he finds out that they had anything to do with her death. What's going to happen with Charlie? What's going to happen with Jake? What's going to happen with Vanessa? What's going to happen with Olivia? What's going to happen with Mama? What's going to happen with Papa? That's all I've got.
Oh, LBJ, and that's so good. And I just had to highlight what Kemi Esmeka said in the chat. Quinn being dead would be good story writing, though. You know, LBJ, if that were to happen,
don't do it. I love my Quinn Robin Lindsay. She's not dead.
If that were to happen, LBJ, I'm gonna emphasize again here because it's important that I do it so that it can resonate. LBJ, if Quinn is dead, that would be some good writing because, oh my gosh, no one could possibly expect that this show would kill a pregnant mother. And to do it at the hands of Eli Rowan Pope, that, my friends, would be a twist. Anyway, LBJ, I've already given my takeaways earlier in the episode, and I'll just repeat it one more time. And this is for the ladies, okay? Listen, do not go back to your David Rosen. That's all I have to say. Okay? We all know he's out there. He's always creeping around. Okay, and you know what? Don't do it because you tried it. It didn't work. You tried it again. It didn't work that time. Do not circle back. Stay focused, ladies. Stay focused.
Listen, if that was your takeaway for the winter finale, Janiyah, oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, because it's getting cold outside. People want to cuddle. Don't call David
cuffing Rosen. Season. Call David Rosen for your good cuff.
Don't you call David Rosen for that cuff. Oh my gosh, LBJ, this was so good tonight. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Oh my gosh, the chat was so hot tonight, LBJ.
It was. Listen, on behalf of myself and Janiyah, we love you for watching. We love you for participating. We will be sure to write back to you in the comments. If you want to come back and watch any of the episodes, please come back, watch the episodes. I will be sure to reply and then give Janiyah the message and then reply on her behalf. Absolutely. And we want to wish you.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody down in the chat is saying happy holidays. Char 90303 to Shell Happy holidays, everybody. Oh my God.
Yeah, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, happy New Year. Should all lang syne be forgot, all that stuff.
Yeah, all of those.
Should all acquaintance be forgot? Sorry, all of that jazz, jazz hands, happy New Year. Put one up, get your Canara out for the first fruits, all that stuff. We're here for it. Santa Claus is coming to town. You saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a black man. All that stuff. We wish it to you, okay? From our home, from our hearts to you. We love you for participating.
Thank you so much.
Love. Yes, thank you so much. We will see you January 18th, 2018.
Oh my God.
For the second half of The Conclusion of the Matter, season 7, the final season of our favorite show to watch, Scandal. Until then, I'm Larry Brown Jr., joined by my fantastic friend, the Janiyah Wright. We will see you next year.
Good
Bye,
night.
everybody.